Racoonn. Here's a ban phase, what we like to call it, the old Mantis ban. We'll see if we see something different.
There's no way. This has to be. Oh my goodness, they did it!
Look at us. Look at us, Moxie.
I said that's the thing that they do every single time.
Jeff,
Crazy Racoon's going to be taking out the Emma, which means that Mantis gets through, and we're going to be seeing Citadel taking out the Jeff, which means that, yeah, that Mantis is going to be up available potentially for both teams here. But we're actually going to see Citadel take the Jeff instead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, taking a look, I love the Jeff ban right out the gate and the Jeff save because we just talked about the environmental and what they're able to do with the hero, the Atom as well. So right now, I'm going to give the tip of the cap to Citadel for their pick and ban to start things off. Let's see how they adjust in the later half. It's not just that first bit of the draft. It's getting into it. The Star-Lord gone. We thought that would happen. You thought we'd see a lot of, with that with Citadel, but no, they did their homework there.
I mean, it's going to be the Star-Lord getting removed, but that also means that we're still going to be seeing it potentially up for the side of Crazy Racoon's with the Mantis, which means that the generation of that Galactic Legend is going to be very fast indeed, as we're going to be seeing Citadel now removing the Emma, so they're definitely going to want to be playing Dive as well, as the Jeff save has now pushed Crazy Racoon's into going for the Venom Burn, so that Symbiotic Shenanigans is not up for the plate.
Yeah, no mother this time around, double banned, and with the Captain America save, that is huge. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen Paulie at his craft, get ready, because he can quite literally do it all day, the man himself. This is one of the most feared here in LAN at the Vanguard position. Last ban here, setting up for Crazy Racoonn when you got the Captain America. Which way do you think they want to roll here, Moxie? There's a few ways I'd go about it. Having Adam,
Bucky,
maybe Adam, the Bucky's smart though.
Bucky's really good. Bucky's really good because it means that the counter dive composition is weakened, and it also means that if you want to go for something like a triple strategist line 2 with a flyer, then you're going to not have to worry about him putting the pressure on that. I would expect this to be something like an Invis Woman save or potentially a Star-Lord save coming on through so that Citadel can't target out of it, but it's actually going to be, you know what it is? It's the Loki save with the Mantis so that they can guarantee get the damage boost, with the Vibrant Vitality and Deific
Might as well get some team up.
Oh boy, they're gonna have so much damage boost, and it's not even really like a Star-Lord ban coming on for their duelists either. They're gonna have so many cycles of these ults.
We just talked about Matt Murdock not making an appearance, but we might. Nope, he's. Yeah, of course. I fell for the old Tanuki special. But yeah, taking a look, it's one team like the comp a bit more, but yeah, you're right. The damage boosting capabilities of this team below is scary. That's why you might as well have that Ultron to come into play with the Star-Lord as well. And so I do like the comp down here. This is going to be very interesting, and these teams are going to have to adjust through the first fight.
So as well, we're getting to see that Ultron come on through. Like, yes, he's been weakened, but he's still very, very strong alongside the Star-Lord. Plus, he makes up for one of the main weaknesses of the Loki. Loki having his primary heal actually be tied to AoE, he's rubbish at healing flyers. Yeah. Especially with how Star-Lord is going to be maneuvering around, he's going to be trying to hide behind all of those pillars, he's going to be dodging all of the damage coming on through, which means he's going to be dodging healing from his team as well. So you put the Ultron in and you're going to be able to keep NX up. This entire composition is make sure that NX gets to play with as much as he possibly can. So for the side of Citadel, it's going to be about depriving the resources from the Star-Lord and hitting the backline instead.
Absolutely, it's a lovely point. That was even before the nerfs to him. He was bad at healing flyers, now even worse. Enzo with the Strange. Just wait to see what this man can pull as a Sorcerer Supreme as well. And the Hawkeye from Tanuki, we see the Icy Arrow sometimes here, or Push Arrow to get a little bit of disruption, but we're going to have Enzo look at that preparation. Love to see it right off the bat going aggressive.
It's also used to stop the Strange Portal from the other side because it goes all the way through the map, including that cover, and Citadel now are going to be in a position to cut off Crazy Racoon's rotation. They knew that the Star-Lord was still going to be up for grabs for NX, so what do? Get into a position where they're going to be able to mark the Star-Lord when he approaches.
Yeah, we saw Rad over there for America pull that off a couple of times as the teams clash right away. This is a point that's not taken fast too many times, and oh my goodness, Citadel already halfway up and climbing. Good little escape there from Miller, trying to hunt there for finding the real Loki as they continue to push in the aggression right off the rip there from Citadel Gaming now. Good rotation over. It's going to be Paulie, though, with the first lap. Good trade-off from J-Mac, but Enzo and Melio get the best to get the point rolling.
J-Mac still going to be there on the Captain America, looking to stall out, but like you said, it is going to be Citadel walking away with that cap. So everyone from the side of Crazy Racoonn is going to look to get out as quick as possible and not get staggered. Can J-Mac make it to his team? Yes, he can. The heals are going to be coming on through. NX 50% of that first Galactic Legend, and that goes to show how much pressure Citadel are putting on that Star-Lord.
Yeah, Enzo at 83% is absolutely comical in one fight, just showing what he can do there on the Sorcerer Supreme, now pushing in immediately. This is good. I love this play here coming from J-Mac, and it's going to be the good follow-up. This is what we wanted to see, the synergy back, and there goes quickly two of the strategists now making it the Agamotto forced out. He finds 3 there. Moxie, and with the follow-up of the Vanguards, they're able to even out the fight. Damage boost is going to be up from Vital. Gonna get the res there as well. Shark swallowing. It's Jet time.
And there's nothing to be able to stop him either. He makes it out with Seonghoon. There's no one-shot. Tanuki's going to be able to fully carry the Mantis Eye, which means no LOS to stack up the damage boost or the heal ticks. And still Citadel are in control of this fight. Crazy Racoons think it's winnable though. Freedom Charge is going to come on through, and that just means that Melee with the Dance of the Butterflies is going to potentially find these eliminations, but first has to clear through the doppelgangers instead. Cancels the ultimate early, so his position isn't too predictable, and then lets Citadel go for another fight.
Yeah, one of the best hard counters, right? It's going to be that Loki and the clones to take up a lot of those sword sweeps here now. It's pushing in, just tick goes the timer, 70% up. It's going to force the invisible boundary though. Alex going to keep the team safe in the Roman Coliseum. Slam down from J3 does not connect. Instead, a quick trade there on Inex. The key factor of this team not able to make an impact thus far, and Melio and Pauly just sweep up the rest. This is a perfect performance so far, an answer from CT.
I do wonder though how they're going to deal with the Galactic Legend coming on through from NX. They don't have a defensive option against it. I think it's just going to be aggression. Like, honestly, Enzo might just build up the Eye of Agamotto and use it against the Starlord in the sky so that they can disrupt NX. And even if he manages to iframe through it, he should still be able to get hit by the follow-up damage. Out comes the Galactic Legend, but it's a little bit early. The Strange just floats in front of him with the shield, and Citadel just hide behind cover.
Yeah, I think maybe they thought, okay, well, we might as well use it before they have anything for it. But yeah, they were able to just rotate. Enzo trying to throw up the shield a little bit. Love that from the player. But now Pauly getting the best yet again of the strategist. Alex does go down here, and with a quick res there from Rocket. This does give Crazy Racoonn plenty of time, but not if Enzo has anything to do as he opens the eye, but quickly shuts it with the sleep Moxie. But once again, this has just been a complete sustained performance from Citadel Gaming.
And Tanuki too is going to be able to come up through and get the HF onto the Magneto, who just isn't able to keep up the ult charge. Like, Meteor M is not building at the same time as Tanuki's its jab. Still, Citadel did lose control of that point in the fight, and now Crazy Racoonn, we should see the strength of this composition. With the amount of damage boost that they have for this Starlord, it's honestly a very likely reality that we see this go from 0 to 100% unless Citadel win this next fight here and come on through with the Dance of the Butterflies and clean the slate.
Yeah, they got the Freedom Charge, plenty of things to keep the team up defensively, but yeah, Melio, do look out here. He's going to try to find his opportunity. Cloak Bubble already going to be popped there from the side of Lastro, and immediately it's going to be Pauly taking the Freedom Charge with J-Mac matching it. It's the old classic that we saw in the MCU once again. Now we've got Seonghoon throwing up the Mantis Ult, keeping things alive, and Melio not getting any connection with that. So you're right, this is probably going to go the distance at this point. J-Mac getting that quick follow-up. I expect this to go all the way.
Lastro gets picked though. That's a huge exit from Citadel, and that might not just be an exit, that might be an opening. Crazy Racoonn thought that it was going to be winnable for their opponent, had to commit in with the Meteor M to be able to finish it off, and we're going to be seeing a full reset coming through from Citadel if they're allowed out, because J-Mac on the Captain America is relentless.
This is what I'm here for. I've seen Crazy Racoonn against these competitions we did not get to see, and they are doing a great job here at charging, ready up to go. Galactic Legends ready. They do have plenty to answer now within kin, even if they wanted to do a little bit of Tanuki action on the Whirlpool. Don't expect
Invis
as much.
Invis, this is the worry. Crazy Racoons have to wait, so now comes Galactic Legend, but they're not even going to use Invis Boundary against it. Tanuki just gets the E.
Oh no. Oh no, as Tanuki barely escapes, the Sharks looking for more spins now. So that's beautiful. Great job there from Tanuki, keeping the team good to go. JT3 though does get the follow-up on Pauly. Good stagger now, 88% climbing. Alex now forced to get the boundary up and looking what they can respond with. I mean, Melio's going to have to nail this dance if they're going to look to get this thing.
You should be able to build it so quickly, but you can see Crazy Racoons, they know that the Psylocke is going to be the problem, and they're really target focusing them down. J-Mac at least has been bought the opportunity to go for the Freedom Charge and burned it aggressively to hit into Citadel's backline and deny the line of sight from both the Invis and the Jeff to keep the team up. Out comes the Dance of the Butterflies, and all of the damage is stacked. Crazy Racoon's just not getting the opportunity to use the Soul Resurgence from the Mantis because the pick had come through.
Spaceball special up, slam down, ends up with a great defense there with duo strategists out. This being really rough now as Crazy Racoonn trying to keep things rolling. They do have the Mantis ult though for the continued sustain. Pauly going to come up a little bit later than J-Mac, but coming just in time there to keep Citadel Gaming and the pressure on. Trying to get that point and get them off is the key to this thing with only pixels left. Alex does get the pick on J-Mac. That's the one they needed there, the pop to finish with Pauly.
Tanuki too with the itch jab. should have the heal sustain alongside the Seraphim Shield from the Doctor Strange to keep everybody hale and hearty through the Galactic Legend. And Crazy Raccoons, unfortunately, are going to have to send one of their players onto that objective. Otherwise, overtime burns out. NX, he's ducking, he's leaving, he's doing his best to buy time for the Strange Portal from J-Mac. And it's enough. Crazy Raccoons continue.
Yeah, they're able to go, even though we have a couple people coming a bit back from the respawn room, taking an extra tour. Now JT3, though, trying to stay alive the best they can. They get everyone through at just the right time. Absolutely huge. They're throwing good sustain and patience there from Lastro.
Lastro's going to get the ult.
Come on, oh, there we go. Coming up with the quick damage boost into the healing. Great patience, I've got to say, from Lastro here, as it's going to continue to throw it out. 6-5-4, throwing it down with the amplifier to match. But look at this patience.
They've still got the Rocket Cosmic Gun Amplifier, and they're going to lose Enzo on the side of Citadel, but they've got the Rocket BRB from Ken to be able to bring him back. Alex gets the Invis Boundary up. This overtime has been going for so long. Out comes the Eye of Agamotto, but the Force Physics from Alex sends them out of it!
Oh my goodness, now as Alex goes up, we do have the dance ready. It's going to be activated right now, trying to find more. So many Loki clones, though. This is not going to get much of the connection they're looking for. And top of the Undefeatable does bait that out, though. That does help the team in what I'm sure is going to be a continued overtime fight. But right now, it's going to be Crazy Racoonn looking to make a mark here in the grand finals as they're pushing out, throwing through. Enzo's got that Agamotto, looking for the big stunts he's known for. But first, baseball special. Purple ball goes up, goes down, and it misses. They're hitting the backboard, and off it goes Enzo with Yago.
NX has got another Galactic Legend. Out comes the solid ultimate. Regen domain from Lashra is going to be able to keep the team up and alive from the side of Crazy Raccoon, but they still have to deal with Tanuki carrying players out, and that's going to mean that Citadel have the target, focus, and the numbers to be able to start burning these players' presence down. And finally, the control will flip over to the side of Citadel. Overtime is still going to be pushed, but no one from the side of Crazy Raccoon is going to be able to touch.
Well, that's one way to open things up, right? I mean, I think Citadel loves playing when there's only a pixel left of the overtime as well. Both times they recap, there was nothing left. I was worried they were just going to step off there at the first fight, able to keep things going through, and just a perfect example of ult usage there to keep things alive. That Alex ult to be able to help out with the Agamotto was massive. Going into this next one, though, and even what they had to use. First, let's look at the stats. I mean, Melio only going down once with Tanuki. That's going to be huge there for what they're able to offer.
I mean, the really impressive thing is that Melio's been able to match damage with NX, who's getting damage boosted on the solid.
Yeah.
Like that Psylocke damage too is so precise. You can see that it's being channeled into 8 final hits, which means that Melio is hitting his targets and then cleaning them up. Which means because you're finding those eliminations so quickly, Crazy Raccoons aren't getting to actually channel those hits into Strategist ultimate charge. So they're not getting to really play off of faster ultimate cycles, which is felt even more so given the fact that they're running a triple Strategist line, which is then cannibalizing the heal opportunities.
And I know we're on Hell's Heaven, but Shang-Hoon has just been seeing the respawn room for this map. I mean, 10 eliminations. They're going to go over to that Loon and try to get things rolling for the team here. And another quick portal from Enzo. I always love the aggression that we see here on this map in particular here. And once again, this is the one that we highlighted, ready to see as Kin is going to be able to offer a lot. Enzo, wow, found quickly the Ultron in the sky, and that is just so tough to recover from here on the early opening.
Yeah, and no rocket. Crazy Raccoons had swapped off of it to go for Ultron, Luna, and Mantis instead, so no way to bring the Ultron back, which means that Citadel have the numbers advantage and the control of point currently as Ken drops the Cosmic Gun Amplifier, and let Citadel move from taking that 1 inch into taking an entire mile.
Yeah, doesn't have the Mantis, but plenty of that damage boost there from Ken, doing a great job syncing up with Melio and getting plenty of that damage. J-Mac, though, continues to be a great cap. We highlighted Polylop. Look at what this man's able to do. Alex, though, and Melio clean up the back line as once again they send them over, and they've got that. They got the point ready. Now they're just cooking it up.
Yeah, Invis Boundary is just such a good reaction to Soul Resurgence coming on through from Lastro, because it really forces them into playing inside that ultimate so they don't get the benefit of the Manta speed boost to be able to run onto one of those targets. It does free up, however, the Galactic Legend coming on through from the side of NX, especially because Citadel don't have a Magneto in play currently, but we've seen Enzo be able to shield with the Doctor Strange. Out comes the Dance of the Butterflies. This is a Citadel special. Put the pressure on before your opponent expects it, and force an ultimate before they're even on the point.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said I think that is going to be their key to success, but they've allowed them to rotate indoors and use the environment to their advantage. That's what we continue to see as Enzo throws out the Agamotto. That's going to set up the quick It's Jeff time. The baby shark dude delete us. We'd like to say here he's got 2 and he's looking for more. What a great 2 to get as well. Going Magneto. Sometimes you have to judge if you go off the map or not. That's the time to go off.
Yeah, I mean, the Eye of Agamotto just means that Tanuki doesn't have to worry about any resources coming on through from Crazy Racoonn. And like you said, they're able to find those eliminations. Crazy Racoonn know that, okay, this fight's done. We've got to reset. If we let them take too much, they're going to be able to rebuild their ultimate economy. We're not going to be able to open up with a full pocketed Galactic Legend coming in through from the side of NX. They just have to be able to actually get into a position where that ultimate can find not just an elimination, but space, monopoly for the point itself. As NX has been able to close up the distance, gets the mag bubble, tries to find the pressure, and Citadel looking to hide away from it, now get collapsed onto.
Absolute delete button there, but again, yeah, able to hide behind the pillar. Outside of the one hit there, we're going to have the dance throwing up, and yeah, to your point, love the setup there from Enzo. One of the pure strangers of this tournament that does the role so well. It's going to be the quick meteor in the sky, the connection, the slam dunk on the Racoonn from JT3. We see you here in Atlanta, Georgia, continuing to put the sword down. Team up's gone. Melee still connects, though. Enzo's got that Agamotto once again ready to roll. He's got the sticks ready, but is going to be taken down by J3.
I mean, they have no way of dealing with it either. They don't have the CC immunity coming on through from either the Luna or the Ultron ult, and JT3's not going to be able to avoid it with the Meteor MCAS either. So for Citadel here, they just need one fight win. If they manage to clear Crazy Racoons off in one go as well, there's no opportunity for a Strange Portal to come back. We don't go into that massively, insanely long overtime the way that we had in the previous map.
Yeah, and they definitely know this, right? Whenever we look at what they're able to do, I mean, again, I hear Solid back here just revving them up as we take a look at what was the key to success now for Citadel, getting that point back twice. But to your point there, Moxie, they've got to slow down what has been that sustain, upping the point over and over. And for me, when you look at that first point, outside of the portal play, what was the big highlight for you that just allowed them to get right back into it?
Loki.
Yeah.
Straight up Loki. I mean, NX was really the driving factor that allowed them to have the opportunity to set up the Strange Portal, right? He went in, he gets to utilize the insane amounts of mobility and survivability that Starlord has on his own. He has 2 iframes, which automatically reload his primary as well, but that just meant that he was able to live on his own long enough for the Strange Portal to come up. And normally when we talk about Strange Portals, you have to have an ultimate to actually be able to have staying power after that portal's come through. Sure. Traditionally a strategist ultimate. Loki here is able to sort of cheat. He's the god of mischief, you know, he cuts some corners. He gets to come on through with a regen domain. And because as well they're still like running the Mantis at that opportunity, those regen domains, that wider in the AoE reach, and they also have damage boost, which means that if you're playing inside of them, not only are you living, you're rebuilding your ultimate economy incredibly quickly, which means that last row, boom, instant God of Mischief off of the swap, and out comes the rocket copy.
And great patience from him. He had the rocket ult, which seemed like an eternity there. I mean, if I was in the same shoes, would have, you know, popped it a couple times. But yeah, for me, the highlight, we kind of looked at it at the big band. The damage boost was going to be the advantage there for Crazy Racoonn, and the comfortability of comp, I think, there for Citadel Gaming. But they're matching stride for stride. I mean, there's only been one clear pick there. Everything else has been hidden away and tucked away, and that is just how you win this thing, because you'll be deleted in seconds there. Auto aim, damage boost, not much you can do. So I want to give the props to Citadel, just having the good game sense and awareness, when to rotate and when to utilize their strategist ultimates to push forward. But Moxie, I mean, listen, we saw point one. You know, we still have a matchup ready to go. They can definitely come back if we see what we have rest for the first point here in Hell's Heaven.
Yeah, I mean, NX is going to be set up with a team already in control of the space, with all of the damage boost, and now having 4 pillars of the point to actually be able to hide his position around. Like, they kind of pulled the short straw when it came to the first submap of Hell's Heaven. If you're a flyer like Solid, you want either Eldritch Monument or you want the map that we've now found ourselves on, Super Soldier Factory, because you have like all of the cover of those things. So because you're not running like an Invis Woman, we're not getting to see the shield stagger of the Guardian Shield in front of the flyer, which blocks out so much damage and also means that the flyer doesn't really have to worry about playing super aggressively. Also means that your Solid gets to go into a whole group of enemies rather than picking one specific target and then use the AoE of the Blaster Barrage to be able to get as many targets as possible and just zoom up to Galactic Legend, which is one of the fastest building ultimates in the entire game. Like, I swear, I blink and NX has got another ult for that.
I mean, hey, we got a couple of JT3 there, because hitting a Racoonn that swiftly, probably mid-dash.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was a beauty. I mean, we caught the very end of it. I'm just glad. Hopefully that makes its way to the highlights at some point, because that was absolute cinema in the making. We jump back in, though. Again, 3-2-1. Looking at the point, it's going to be mainly at Citadel, 99, 14%, and climbing there. As we now look at Enzo, look at what they have, though. Between the Agamotto to set up the Jet, if they want to go that route again.
Vital's back on the Ultron. because they've got control of that space, so they can give the pocket over to that Starlord, who is really rapidly building up to that Galactic Legend. Citadel do have the invisible boundary, so there's not really cause for them to go fast at the moment. If the Galactic Legend does come on through, they're going to be able to prevent it. They just want to move their position onto point so they can draw out the fight as long as possible and deny the dive.
Yeah, but once again, it's King using it aggressively, and Enzo to match does get 2 with it, and down goes Lastro immediately. Enzo just completely closing that run now as they push through, fully committing. Love this approach here from Citadel Gaming. J-Mac trying to just keep their team alive as much as possible. Wow, look at the beautiful portal stop from Tanuki. Swallows up the Strange. Off goes the maps to... Wow, look at the survival as well.
Oh,
no!
Yeah, I mean...
Played with this food a little bit too much, huh?
Tanuki gets indigestion, but Citadel's still going to be very happy with the fact that they were able to prevent that portal play from coming on through. Vital does save it for Crazy Racoons, though, coming on out with the Rage of Ultron to be able to keep everyone healthy, but also pressure Citadel into having to play into a re-engage. But they've got the Dance of the Butterflies, and Crazy Racoons don't have anything to deal with it other than stacking, unless they can buy enough time for Fate of Both Worlds to be bought.
Yeah, good readjustment. I mean, losing out the portal is absolutely going to be huge for the later half, but hey, you can win it right here, right now if you lock in and ready. But to your point, they have to deal with the lock. Good connection, but Melio is going to find the best of them. Down goes both of the core strategists, out goes the other. No healing left. This is going to be the swan song here for Crazy Racoon, because guess what? Portal's gone, got eaten up just a moment ago. Agamotto out, but it's just going to be the last dance here as we find ourselves map 1 going to Citadel Gaming after the stall.
I mean, Crazy Racoons, they're going to try. We've got the Loki giving the regen domain to the Captain America so that J-Mac can hold for as long as possible.
Oh, the push off!
The push, yeah. The push.
That's, yeah, when
Force
you're one man left.
And then like, it came so close to being able to draw out that overtime too, because Crazy Racoons like Seung-hoon pops the Fate of Both Worlds, which would have been plenty of healing to go onto point and potentially set up for the Angela swap to get push-offs onto Citadel's players so that you don't have to worry about having a healthy ultimate economy. But Citadel will be able to prevent it before the overtime starts burning down for too long, and it's fitting that Polly is going to be walking with the MVP because his cap got through, and even though Venom, I think, for most Vanguards is going to be the better and higher priority of a pick, given the pick potential of Venom and Feast of the Abyss combined with Psylocke. It's truly a terrifying prospect. But Polly with the cap and Melio being able to coordinate off the space that the cap opened up, going for that really aggressive Down to the Butterflies before Seung-hoon gets the ultimate up, because you know, even if you're going up against a stack of strategists, your cap's going to be there, right by your side, on your left, to be able to deal all of that damage to take them down before the ult can be built.
On your left, on your right, yeah, he was just about everywhere for the team. I want to give my flowers to J-Mac. Thought they did a good job actually looking damage front and damage block. Close to it, yeah, a little bit more of that coordination, though. I felt like a lot of times it was J-Mac show just trying to stay, keep the team alive through it all. And that was a big difference of the strategist for me. That was the big highlight. To your answer, they almost always had either the aggressive tool needed or to shut down what was going to be the damage boost. Star-Lord, nothing was connecting there on that front. And Melio doing a perfect job just isolating 2. Every time I think he got 2 from the quick swords. And it shows what you can do with just a quick, eat up from Tanuki. I respect him trying to stay alive. I respect him. He was close, almost had it there. But either way, shutting that down was the main key play for them.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, it felt like a little bit of a bait in terms of like the ban draft. It kind of felt like they wanted NX to go for the Star-Lord because then it's predictable and you have a game plan in motion already pre-prepared, which would mean that you know exactly what to do.
Absolutely, y'all. Well, we just saw the 2-0 from 100 Thieves at OUG. Will we see it again with Citadel Gaming and Crazy Racoon? Don't go anywhere. We're going to reset again, reload, get these teams freshened up, and we'll be right back after this break.
ones have what it takes to become the best of the best.
The fight is gonna happen right here, right now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back yet again to the grand finals here in Atlanta, Georgia. We just finished our match there, at least one of the maps, with Citadel versus Crazy Racoonn 1-0. Now, Crazy Racoonn gets to pick the map and have some adjustments made in terms of pick bans, but Sala, the coach on the other side, going to do the exact same thing. What do you expect to see in that department? Same thing as we saw map 1?
I mean, if you're relying on NX on the Starlord, I think we're definitely going to have to see a couple of bans come through. Against the Invis women, I think would probably be like a really good ban, because not only does the Invis really weaken the Starlord with Galactic Legend getting directly countered by Invis boundary, it then also means that your dive, which is going to be looking to set up the space for your Starlord, is also going to be strengthened because you don't have to worry about the force physics being able to trap you and not allow you to disengage. However, I think another thing that they could potentially do, because we saw Citadel, like on that second round especially, aggression. Like they would straight up just, they would scatter, they would know, okay, they're mid-walk, they're mid-rotation, nothing's going to be set up, they're probably ult tracking, they're probably trying to work out their fight plan. We're just going to go in and hit, because in those moments, like, you don't get to hear it in team comms, you get to see the game, you don't get to actually, like, hear what exactly is going on. If players are, like, fight planning, they haven't yet decided of the strategists who's going to ult first. So a lot of the time when you see double strategist ultimate fights go through, it just kind of shows that the other side went before the enemy team was ready, and they hadn't already said, like, hey, I'm going to use my ult against this, you use your ult against that. They hear the ultimate and they panic, and that's where we see a lot of mistakes occur.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what we're going to see in terms of, obviously we set up the stage for the Mantis ban, didn't quite get that. I'm wondering if maybe from Crazy Racoonn we get a not as friendly Jeff map, and then that way they don't have to worry about it, because again, if they go for the Jeff, the Mantis is safe, vice versa, and I think they're happy either way there in Citadel Gaming. And so for me, if I'm looking at my map pool as a team and what I can put together, that's the route I'm going, and I agree with you. I think giving Alex the invis is probably something to target right away, can help slow things down. I don't hate their approach and what they had there for their team comp. Listen, domination doesn't always tell the full story too, so this could, you know, change up as we go into comp or convergence. I
think as well, like we talked about it a little bit before we went to the break, right? Because it's still very, very new, and a lot of these teams haven't really got the opportunity to practice against each other, being able to predict what your opponent is running at, especially on domination, where you can essentially just like say, okay, this is likely the composition, this is likely the rotation that they're going to want to take. We now get to play into counter rotations and punishment angles, which is something that we saw Citadel take advantage of masterfully. The fact that they were able to win against a Loki and a Mantis on first fight, when the Mantis is just absolutely pumping everybody with the 12% damage boost, and the Loki is sitting there with essentially an ultimate on a cooldown for the first fight. Like, regen domain, whenever you're coaching Loki, you always say like, no, you have to hold it for what is actually going to one-shot your team. The difference in the first fight though is that there's no ultimates actually built, so you can use that aggressively, or you can use it defensively.
I need a Moxie at home in my own studio. I'm telling you, I absolutely love it here. And listen, there's a lot about the gameplay we're breaking down, but for the viewers at home, the vibes here at LAN are just getting started. It's so fun to be connected. I mean, obviously get to watch a lot of you guys over at EMEA, but connecting us last time over there in Guangzhou, but coming here all together now, and the teams as well. A lot of these teams know each other, obviously, and we've got a good one, because if Citadel's able to hang on here, guess who they play? 100 Thieves. So it's the matchup that we just saw, and that's already for day one an absolute crazy way to end it. That for me is going to be pure excitement. But just there's something that we can't even convey through the camera quite with how electric LAN is here. Some shyness, some nerves, but also some egos flexing, and that's what I love. That's what makes Marvel Rivals and just LAN special for me.
Well, some players, like, we talk to them and we say, how do you perform, like, how do you prepare for that additional pressure and stress that LAN is going to bring? Because there's lights on you, right? Literally, there are blinding lights on you the entire time, and also there's audience. There's going to be an audience who are in front of you, and some players are able to handle that. Some players get stronger with that, actually, and that was something that Polly was saying. He really thrives off of a crowd environment, being there supporting him, so too does Enzo. I feel like for Citadel, they're a very good team, both remotely and then on LAN as well.
Yeah, Guangzhou, you know, the crowd, first, you know, obviously English wasn't fluent, but also smaller crowd size. Here, Oh, we've seen it. It's going to be wild again right now. We're setting up the stage. But yeah, I talked to the same thing for the players. Do you find it as a buff? If you hear, the crowd chanting Paulie, I'm sure that's going to give them, an extra ultimate, if you will. But also could create distractions, or if things start to snowball and, maybe they're cheering for the other team with the comeback, that's when you get worried. We jump into map number 2 here. Hall of the Jolly Wakanda is going to be our location here for our next setup as we look at the pick ban. Moxie.
Is this going to be a pivot over towards the Hela? Because, I mean, Crazy Racoonn, they started with Vital as well with NX instead of Hidan, which Vital was one of the players who would immediately go Hela, even on the Season 4.0 patch against Ivan. Hall of the Jolly is one of the strongest Hela maps, as we can actually see yet again Mantis insta-ban for Citadel and Jeff instant-ban for Crazy Racoonn. So one of these teams is going to get one-sided Jeff, one of these teams is going to get one-sided Mantis, if that's the way that Citadel decide to lean towards.
Yeah, I have a feeling a little bit of the Doctor Strange from the last matchup was like, the Jeff's gone first. Okay, I'm not going to get in again in the portal. No, I do like that. Try to change things up a little bit. I do think that they had what they wanted most of the time, so I wouldn't get too crazy with adjustments here. But yeah, to your point, with the Adam being banned as well, this is such a big Adam map on Convergence too. This first point is so hard to take, and getting that res back and all the safety, if able, can help out that much more. As we look at the save, I'd expect Mantis. Yeah,
that's the Mantis. I feel like this is really going to be trying to push Vital to the Hela too, because the Adam ban is targeting Vital. Vital has been the Adam player coming on through when he's in the team for Crazy Racoonn, which now means that his normal go-to would be something like the Hela here if they decide to pivot it up, and potentially maybe the Winter Soldier, as we can see that Citadel, if it is that, are going to be able to go for the Mantis for the damage boost to win the neutral fights, but also the ultimate fights. And now Crazy Racoons, this was a strategy that they used. They know how important it can be. Mantis is in the game. Well, that's going to have to be now a ban against the Loki so that they don't get the team up.
Yeah, just pure adjustment there. Obviously, that was going to be, on their initial bans, but a great way just to shut things down here with Emma's both being locked at the same time. Again, this is usually what you're going to see here in the mid-rounds of the pick ban. Next save up for Citadel. Is it Cap again? Do they want to go with that route because they have access? Venom, they don't need that with the, with the Jeff being banned.
I'm very surprised that they went for the Emma ban on the side of Crazy Racoonn instead of the Cap.
Instead of the Cap?
I would.
Venom was I
mean, Venom is going to be really, really lethal because Mantis is going to be able to damage boost Feast of the Abyss. However, we're going to get to see one-sided Adam come through from Citadel. Luna's still on the field too, which means that we've still got the Light and Shadow Karma coming on for that team up. What do Crazy Racoons decide to go for here in terms of that ban? Like, it has to be something that the Mantis is going to be able to damage boost. The Venom now takes priority over the Cap.
Star-Lord's going to be banned. Yeah, Citadel here, you can't give the symbiotic shenanigans. So I would expect I expect we know what Citadel's ban's going to be for the last save. I mean, they have the opportunity here to save Venom if they want to roll that route. Don't think they're going to go that way. For me, it's going to be to fuel up what NX wants to do.
Maybe Star-Lord. It could be a save here on the Star-Lord or the Psylocke.
Star-Lord's gone.
It's the Cap save coming on for the side of Crazy Racoonn. Yeah, I feel like this would be Venom. So that you don't get symbiotic shenanigans. I mean, if it is symbiotic shenanigans, it's not the end of the world because you have Adam. So if they use Link, then you use your Link, and you also have the damage boost. So yeah, it's Star-Lord. It has to be, because like the Jeff and the Venom and the Star-Lord all diving together are just too strong.
Yeah, absolutely. As we have both Star-Lords out of the map and looking at what they've got ready to lock in here, folks, as we take a look at Wakanda. Lock it into Nuki, obviously going to be showcasing the hero. Love what the early flashes are, what they want to showcase, maybe what they play on the ladder, not quite what we're locking in. Can go into that Mantis. Yes, I mean, the strategy all relies around here with Adam on Melio, or Melio on Adam.
NX is going to be on the Winter Soldier, so you can see that Crazy Racoons are already anticipating things like the Venom or the Cap to be able to come on out. I mean, Citadel, they've been really, really good at showing this aggression. Whenever they played Holo de Jalia, I was very surprised when Crazy Racoons actually decided to take us to this map. Citadel, for the most part, have taken first point in first fight.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. And that's, listen, you can really see how the momentum folds. Every single time I watch this map, Moxie, when point one's taken fast, point two goes just as fast. Point three usually where that holdup is. Over there in America, at least, we actually don't get a ton of point three caps fully here.
They're doing it. Oh, they're going to do it. Hold on a minute. Yeah. So here's the thing. This has now evolved where some players will leave the penny mines up, take damage voluntarily, wait for the spawn doors to open, and then use it for a strategist to be able to fill an ultimate. And it was actually one of the win factors that was able to meet in the GF ultimate pull faster than a Magneto, as Crazy Racoonn are going to be relying on the Strange Portal to get themselves behind point so they don't have to worry about the Venom disruption into the Bucky Hook.
Mine as well. Love the high ground approach and the split approach we often see here in Wakanda. J-Mac and friends there in the backside, forcing Enzo and them to look up now. Great little rotation over to the map and setting up the boundary perfectly here, or the shield, shall I say. Melo with the soul bomb, though, is just going to make things so much harder now. Enzo finding the best out of it. Index forcing that res already. What an absolute surgical way to start things out.
I mean, Malio with the soul bind just means that Citadel do not get punished for going for the map rotation away from the Doctor Strange portal, as NX is back. They had the rocket POV, and here was my theory crafting coming into play. NX, known for playing Star-Lord, has a horrible, horrible Psylocke in the back pocket for strategists to have to deal with. He is insanely strong on this character, and he's already 80% of the first ultimate. Off of the back of that one, Crazy Racoonns take the point.
Yeah, tip of the cap to them. What a dominant performance there for point one. Again, one of the harder points to take in it. They had the Jeff there, just in case with a quick ledge. That's going to be the best point for Jeff. I mean, there's a couple other options. You can ride up on the rooftop throw off here if Lastro chooses to do so, or set up with JT3 as we saw Citadel do just a moment ago, but looking towards it. Rez almost ready. You've got Kin and Alex there as well for the sustain. And so JT3, we're going to see where he looks to close the, or open the eye and close down the team comms. Once again, looking forward here. Moxie, do you think this NX play with the sword will have it going?
Bait boundary. Potentially bait boundary, but oh my goodness, it's got to be used in reaction to Eye of Agamotto, and the pick through is just immediate. Citadel lose the invis, lose the heals per second. Don't lose Tanuki, as that is Crazy Racoonns going for a very ambitious tap into the Kraken impact, and Tanuki is going to be able to take it out. However, he doesn't get his recent opportunity, and Crazy Racoonns with a triple strategist have 3 strategist ultimates to cycle through, starting with the Rage of Ultron second to be able to win the sustain fight.
Yeah, when you get the whole team in the Yago, it's going to help out a lot there to get the rest of the momentum forward now. And yes, I mean, Shang Hoon also has got the rocket ready to rock and load. They go right up Main Street here at NX just once more. You're right, that back pocket Psylocke. I mean, you can't ban the duelists, only the heroes that you can find fit, but NX can play them all, as we've continued to see now. JT3, great aggression. This team has shown aggression on domination. We're seeing this continue here. J-Mac from the top looking to dive there. Got the Psylocke duo there. It's going to be Paulie on the Venom trying to disrupt that back end. Let's be Shang Hoon keeping them up. Try to see if they take advantage of this damage boost.
You still got the Feast of the Abyss as well. He's waiting for all of the heal ticks to be finished with the Cosmic Ion Amplifier before coming on through. Malio is going to have his self-res up as well. He's waited so long on this Karmic Revival, and there you can see NX gets the pick onto the Adam, knows that Karmic Revival is up. He's going to use it likely in this fight, although with using that Invis boundary and slowing everybody down, they might not need it, but NX is still in this back, having to be cleared. Oh my goodness, they try to go for the false physics to disrupt the Psylocke's position, and they don't manage to find it, which forces Alex to have to use his ultimate instead.
Yeah, insane disruption there from Tanuki over to JT3. I don't know if you heard the Doctor Strange grasp for breath there as he tries to throw the Agamotto. Alkindo with the follow-ups, shutting down what's been the biggest threat in NX right now. Just meters away here to get point 2 and a huge reset with the advantage to defense speed right around the corner. Kraken Impact is ready to go. Going to use it on what he just rolled with the Shark, forcing with the quick out there. Look at Lastro once more. He's not afraid of Winter Soldier here. Quick uppercut's going to take quick business of him. Wow! Barely does not escape though, and it's been Tanuki riding off that momentum as Bucky does best.
And Tanuki, because he knows that Lastro's out of the fight, isn't going to use the ESF, gets to go aggressive with the Kraken Impact. Can he find the reset? Oh, he absolutely can. He gets one, might be able to find his second, tries to come on through. Melio at least picks up Vital as well, and that is Crazy Racoonns having to go back to the drawing board. They're going to open up the fight with the Cosmic Ion Amplifier, trying to force Citadel into disengaging, and it's not a clean disengage. The Solo gets on top of Tanuki, and NX gets his pick. He's so close to dance with the butterflies, something that Citadel can't afford. Without that Winter Soldier, they've got to bring him back with the Karmic Revival just for him.
Yeah, this is a huge Karmic Revival there. There's the NX Butterfly. Getting that neutral fight was everything you needed there, as Enzo now finds the best of JT3. Coming up there with the strategy they rolled in with Melio. Sometimes playing the aggression is fine. Having elimination is not a big deal. Tanuki gets Lastro out of there, and this defensive hold is really showing up after point 1 folded quickly. 1 minute 50 seconds left, forcing now, Racoonn to at least get a little bit of a readjustment. The stagger's in and ready. We do hear a portal pop though. Am I correct there in the back?
Yeah, Vital has that Rage of Ultron currently absolutely up if the Crazy Raccoons want to use it to open up this fight. Likely going to be holding it though for the CC immunity against End's ultimate as Polly comes on for the Feast of the Abyss. It's going to be power boosted by the fate of both worlds, and Crazy Raccoons in one go lose the Ultron mid-ult.
Oh my goodness, now as the got the sustain going from Alex here with Tanuki ready to roll again for the defensive approach. Enzo can set them up as he's done so many times before, and looking at it, yeah, they don't have much to be able to afford it, but no connection massively, but Tanuki doesn't need it, right?
Yeah,
Does the old-fashioned way with the neutral, does get the res there on Lastro, being then back to the action, but far from everything at this point. This is the pure skill, neutral, game mechanics, game sense battles that we love here in Rivals, and right now Citadel on top.
Cosmic on Amplifier comes out to slow the momentum down. Oh my goodness, Tanuki tries to find a cancel onto the Dance of the Butterflies. Doesn't match you, however, Melio goes down, still has the Self-Rise. Crazy Raccoons have absolutely burnt their entire ultimate economy. If Citadel decided they wanted to fight this out with the Comic Revival, they absolutely can, but I think they're going to hold it for the next fight when they can stagger onto the objective.
Yeah, two ways they can go about it here. We're getting early aggression, trying to push forward and keep them out of it. I mean, I gotta say, great pickup on the Melio before the res. They do decide to fight it though. 2.23 left. They've got everything cooking now with the res, affording them to be more aggressive. You got the boundary up. Polly's ready as well. They're gonna maybe try to time that with Alex Yagamoto though to respond. JT3 finds more. Oh, it's gonna be Polly surviving.
Yeah, and they managed to find a pick onto NX here, who's the main component to be able to keep a track of Melio, who's still got the Self-Rise and the Soulbind, a defensive ultimate to deal with Rage of Ultron, so Citadel can hold their ground and Crazy Raccoons can't leverage the Ultron ult to push the objective to where it needs to be. Next comes the Feast of the Abyss, and Crazy Raccoons just don't have a win condition right now. The It's Jeff isn't going to be enough. It's a flashy play, the Comic Revival unneeded on the point, just for aura farming. He's already got his Lord Portrait. What more do you need as an Adam Warlock player? And Crazy Raccoons are held before they can hit second.
What's the style points there for the finish? And honestly, just great bend don't break mentality, because they were definitely, you know, having to readjust and refold and even getting that pick on Melio, but that's why you have to close these point twos, because that point is so close coming back here as we see now a little bit of adjustments being made here from Crazy Raccoon to that Namor.
This was the risk. This is the reason why Crazy Raccoon took us to Hall of Dajalia. This is also why Vital is currently on their duelist lineup, right? Hall of Dajalia has long been Hela's best map because of just how long and open those line of sights are. It struggles for the attack. You can't play her as much on the attack, but when it flips over to the defense, she's going to be in a prime position. However, Citadel can start this fight with a Strange Portal, which means that they don't have to worry about being caught mid-rotation, being hit by the Hela. So if they can win the first fight, then they're going to be able to walk away with first point. If they lose the first fight, Crazy Raccoon should be able to hold for a very long time.
Yeah, look for old Namor's home, as I like to call it. That top right just rains down the Tritons. It's so hard to get the attention away from him, but also deal with everything coming at your face. So expect aggression here on that top high ground on the left side. You have Namor top on the right, and then what they could do with ease there is keep him nice and healthy. Potentially with the Loki, we see team-ups, although with the 2-2-2, we might see a little bit more tight-knit play from the strategist end of things. Citadel Gaming locking and loading. Paulie over to the group this time around. Get a little wombo combo with, you know, Tanuki and do exactly what you said. Roland, oh my god!
Look before you leap, says G-Mac, and Paulie goes for a tumble. There's a strange portal to open up the fight, but it's not Enzo's.
I've seen a lot of portals. The ground portal's got to be the best, by far. I mean, absolutely.
Whoops, I tripped and fell into a different dimension. It feels like an isekai.
Spider-Man over there in his movie in the multiverse just falling, twisting, and begging for life now as they have to reset quite literally there. That's going to give plenty of advantage for Crazy Raccoon now to set up a bit more defensively, get more ult charge coming their way if they need it there. But Enzo and friends are working their way up here. Moxie ready to roll. Got them on the side end of things here. Namor not on the top, over on the back end. Gonna have the screens to help out.
The Soul Bond is going to be the green light for Citadel to walk onto Crazy Raccoon. So it's a good freeze from Alex as well onto Vital, so that they don't get punished for it, and it sets up Tanuki to get the pick onto NX.
Now looking at these sightlines, as you just said, this is just allowing them to get that free ult charge right up to the Goddess of Death, but now it's just trying to stay alive. JT3 barely down there, about to fall, able to go right back up. Great job from Lastro and Sunghoon keeping them alive, but look at Melio. It's just a constant charge of that ult power from the Adam Warlock into the Groot ult. Look at the team's there for a group photo might I say, as they all fall down.
You know what? I tip my hat to you on that one, Cozy. That might be the pun of the month that I have heard. And I tip my hat to Citadel too, because they came in swinging with this composition. Holly doesn't normally play Groot. However, what they're doing here with the Groot and the Strange is they're having so much LOS coverage from the Hela and the Nemo poke coming on through that Vital's just not getting these opportunities. And if NX is having to play deeper up against all of the walls, that means he's in a much easier position for Tanuki to blow up the hook.
Yeah, I feel like they need something to adjust with these walls.
Not again!
Holy, oh, here comes a whale from the response, and wow, just flawless, fine. Not even worried about it yet whatsoever. They have to have something to adjust the screen at this point. I don't think they're going to be able to hold on.
Yeah, I mean, the invis boundary means that Crazy Raccoons just can't push into it. If they wanted to, they'd have to have sacrificed the strategist ultimate, but it's in such an awkward position, the rest of the team would not have been able to follow him through. And off of the back of this, Citadel getting so much free space. Melio hasn't been pressured. He's still going to have the self-res to be able to empower the Karmic Revival if Crazy Raccoons even have a way of getting on top of his position, because they're playing a poke composition.
Yeah, they're just able to honestly impose their will here as they continue to push forward. They're spread out too, just massively. Melio finding NX is going to strip the team from really any damage boosting as damage alone. Vital trying to get something from the Goddess of Death, but we're just not seeing this team connect. They're spread out, disoriented at this point, just trying to stay alive as the Agamotto rains down.
J-Max going to be able to find Melio, however, he's still got the self-res, which we're likely going to be seeing Citadel commit, so that they don't have to go for a full reset. If they have to walk into a set-up Hela and Namel, it's going to be much more of a struggle, and indeed there it is. Self-res, but the self-res was costly. G-Mac takes him down, cutting Karmic Revival.
Holy blade now as they continue to make their way up as J-Mac's going to continue to get a nice stall here. Love that little bounce off the shield. JT3 connected to 2 Lastro as well. That's the play they needed. 3 minutes, 17 seconds, an eternity here, but at least giving them a little bit of breathing.
This is still a potential hold coming on through from Crazy Raccoon, because now the strategy of Citadel hiding behind the Groot walls falls off. Literally, because Crazy Raccoons have the height, they have the verticality to be able to see over the Groot walls. So what do? Poly Groot walls, so that Enzo gets a free position to teleport onto the high ground that the Hela or Nemo could be holding, which Crazy Raccoons expect. That's why the Loki's posted up that.
Look how last year you got the whole team coming on your back there. And again, yeah, both Agins out of business. Melio and Tanuki lost both their ults there in the last fight, Poly too. So look for that to be maybe the win condition as they build up to it. But we'll see if Crazy Raccoon can continue to hold as the high ground approach. Great view from the spectators here as they're going in. Whale is out, and NX tries to connect. Nothing from it so far in this match, but J-Mac does find the leftover scraps. Alex out of this thing now, and looking at the ult charge, Kin, only thing keeping them up, Invisory Boundary down, and another great hold here from Crazy Raccoon.
Vital's getting the picks, Melio falls, and this Hela is starting to come fully into form. And Citadel, they tried to cheat it last time with the Strange Portal. They didn't get the opportunity to do it this time, though. This is the true test for Crazy Raccoon's mechanicals.
Yeah, and you said it with the sightlines here. Every single Thorn has a personal name scribbled on as he throws them down, gets those connections. If he's playing like that, they're going to get great success here. Maybe we get ourselves a game number 3. Lastro and Sunghoon, though, ready to lock and load. We'll see if JT3 can connect this. Haven't seen it thus far. Enzo, though, here we go. Will we see this connection? Good little pushback early, though. Might want to have saved on to that. We'll see how they push in up to the high ground. Good rotations here as J-Mac's going to look to go around.
Holly's on the Venom as well. Off of that Groot, out comes the Meteor M, trying to find a catch onto Citadel, and finds a connection onto Alex on the Luna. Tanuki's cracking impact immediately shut down to a pause because they just have no space to be able to support the Winter Soldier. And look at the position that Vital's on. Now that there's no Strange Portal to jump the isolated Hela, he's in the driving seat alongside that Namor to catch onto Citadel spawn.
Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes dispute just like that. Minute 15 left, and now it does open up the floor here to allow a little bit of synergy be built up. Enzo does have that Agamotto, had it now for a while in the fights, but just unable to connect what they need. JT3 doing exactly what was called for them. I mean, this is quite literally every Q press. You're going to see the screen flash and every color available. All the ults are ready here. Moxie has, look at this again, just absolutely throwing down, taking the distraction out. Wow, what a push. There goes the Goddess of Death.
The Goddess of Death, but that's not a health reset. Oh my goodness. The catch onto the Hela, he's going to get hit by the slow. Yeah, and immediately the follow-up is that Goddess of Death burned no LOS from the strategist to be able to heal Vital back up to full. This is just a stall strategy right now coming on through from J-Mac, which means that Citadel win the fight without sacrificing all their ultimates. The longer this stall goes on, the closer that Ken is going to be to an ultimate, and they're still going to have the res.
Yeah, this is, again, what you just said, the sustain option. That's where Hela wants to be in the white hot room like Phoenix. No connection there to get things rolling. Tanuki going to find the best of J-Mac. That sustain effort did last quite a while. They have a short walk back, so they do have the overtime stretch that they're looking for. Looking at ult rotation. combination. Lastro's going to be the only thing to connect with JT3 here. These two look for JT3. What can he put together here? Melio with the res.
Look for Melio as well. That's what Crazy Raccoons are going to have to do. NX is going to swap onto the Psylocke just to try and close up the distance with the dashes through the spawn to get back onto the Nemo a little bit faster, as it is overtime and we are in full contest duty right now. Lastro does have the God of Mischief, but he's not getting an opportunity to use it.
No, Lantern's burn as well, so right now JT3 just trying to stay alive. Health bar going up and down like a beat mix. He does have the purple meteor to land, but trying to find that opportunity here. Quickly, Melio going down those shoots for the team. Going to be quick up at the Born again, though, getting everybody up into this fight. Oh my goodness, though, they find the connections they need. NX, though, Vital going down as well. JT3 trying to slam dunk something for the team. Does find Alex, though.
That's absolutely huge. Citadel do not have the Karmic Revival. They don't have the Strange Portal. Crazy Raccoons still have the Regen Domain and the closer respawn. Vital's coming back on the Spider-Man. They've got the numbers. The Eye of Agamotto gets nothing. Crazy Raccoons should win.
This is an absolute perfect what went from sustained job to make it a game 3. You could not have a better textbook of a performance to be able to keep that thing alive. They knew what was called for them. They only had Lastro and Magneto, JT3 to get the connection. Melio out of there, and that was exactly what was called for that team.
Loki is a great fill. Loki is a great fill strategist. Yes, they nerfed the numbers that he does, but I mean, we have to talk about it because JMac is the reason that Crazy Raccoons get to continue this series. The amount of times that he on the Captain America got to pick Melio to force the self-res, then we hear the Karmic Revival, and then off in the corner, we just get to see in the frag feed, oh look, Melio's down again. Karmic Revival cut short, like so many times. Crazy Raccoons, they came into that game, they knew what they needed to do, and they got the job done. We go game 3.
I mean, I just talked about, we highlighted Paulie all the time, but I wanted to give him his flowers last time. JMac is not someone to mess around with. 17 final hits on Captain America. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, only here in the Grand Finals, top team from Asia, getting to see what they can do against the other regions. But yeah, to your point, it was a sustained effort. I think Rivals does it well with kids and Marvel heroes. I Can Do It All Day is quite literally the best thing they do for Captain America and what he was able to get the team back. And that's with, you know, the whales not connecting. There was a lot that they wanted back from there, but it was the follow-up from JMac and JT3 and his connections that got them that dub.
And it was vital in NX as well. Like, when we didn't see those portal plays coming on from Citadel, the Heller and the Namor, like, Hall of Dajali, it was a risk taking Citadel to Hall of Dajali. They've had a stellar track record of being able to walk that map, but they knew if they won one fight, just one fight, Heller and Namor slow the game down drastically, and you're on the defense. All of those angles are already developed for you as long as you win the fight before and you're already in position to catch the attacking team on that walk-up. That then forces the ultimate economy to occur off of the objective so that the defenders can simply just disengage it with very little consequence.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Citadel played it great on point 1 there, staying out of those sight lines, and we saw the big difference in what was being able to be done and just that ultimate pick damage and follow-up overall. Y'all, listen, this is our first game 3 of today. I'm absolutely pumped, y'all, as we saw the 2-0 from 100 Thieves. Now we're on to game number 3 here between Citadel Gaming and Crazy Raccoon. Don't go anywhere. We're going to reset. We'll be back after this break.
ones have what it takes to become the best of the best.
The fight is gonna happen right here, right now.
Well, hello there and welcome back. Again, a slew of games today, tomorrow, another day. It's all here on the group stage as we now just saw our first 1-to-1 here with Crazy Racoonn and Citadel. It's going crazy behind us. We love to hear the energy, and I'm sure they're in the viewer position for you all. You all saw a great matchup here now. Citadel gets to pick the map. You watch a lot of Citadel. Where are they going, you think?
It's Convoy. It has to be Convoy, and I feel like there are certain maps that you just have to avoid. Like, you can't, or I was about to say you can't go Yggdrasil Path, because that's probably one of the best maps for Hela.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That's one of the best Convoy maps for Hela. However, it could be that Citadel, like, they want that Hela to come through, because one thing that Yggdrasil Path does give you as an attacking team is rotations onto both either the left side or the right side, which then have natural covers, so you can get on top of the Hela, and it's actually the reason why we saw so many players on the defense change their position entirely. Like, Rockets went from holding corner to playing inside small room on right side with the VRV because they were just too easy to pick off from something that flanked, like either a Psylocke or a Venom.
Well, Psylocke, Star-Lord, Hela all thrive on this map, so the pick ban is going to be especially interesting here. We'll see if Citadel took what they just saw and they fear that Hela, what they have here. As we do take a look at our pick bans, we actually open up with the Emma ban coming from them right away to kind of throw down some of that dive or throw off some of the dive or help it, with Jeff being banned there on the side of Crazy Racoonn.
I mean, Emma is really strong into everything, but also being able to use that Aegis in front of like the Hela and the Namor is going to force them, if they are going to be seeing those two duelists in play, into having to move around the Emma shield to get into a better angle, which is then going to be punishable with the follow-up from Tanuki. However, because it's an Emma save, that means that the Mantis is still going to be up to burn, and Crazy Racoonn will take that off of the table post-haste.
Yeah, but having Emma at your disposal and having one ban, that gives you so much leverage, especially here in a typical triple Vanguard setup here, as we often see Captain America being saved in the side. And honestly, after J-Max performance, I do not doubt that one bit. Love the save that they're going to roll with here. Next ban up, looking at this team, they have plenty to pick from here. They can go with the Jet themselves. I don't think they need to do that necessarily, but they are.
Yeah, we've still got two really heavy hitters, though, in the form of the Loki and the Adam, both being able to make it on for and Convoy. That synergy between those two strategists is especially frustrating to play against with the stall potential. It's not going to be something that we're seeing for the second and third part of the map. It's absolutely something you'd see on the first, which is why Citadel are going to remove the Adam from play.
Yeah, and a lot of just great opportunities to be able to get those quick throw-offs on literally every point outside of the indoors. Now, looking at the Bucky ban, I actually do like this a lot too. That just great snowball kind of break glass case emergency for most teams. Getting rid of that option, especially, I'm telling you, Bucky can just go crazy on this map. We've seen it team after team.
I wonder if that's also going to try and force a Loki ban now from Citadel, because you got the Mantis save, you banned the Bucky, who gets a lot of, there it is, value from the doppelgangers being able to reset the Kraken impact, and Citadel take the Loki out of rotation. They cannot afford to give Crazy Raccoons the damage boost potential of both of them, and they actually lock the Loki themselves, which is probably now going to force Crazy Raccoons into burning Adam now, so that we don't see God of Mischief copying Comic Revival and getting 12 revives off instead of 6, but it's the Strange instead.
I do like the Strange. Listen, if you got the Emma save, and you can't allow the portal come back with all that as well, and just what this does for this map. I mean, Strange and what he can do to set up. Enzo, obviously he's not your typical Strange player as well, so you're also getting a lot of value outside of just that portal play that we continue to see. But yeah, looking at what they're trying to lock in here, going with that old Storm Cop into what could be the Punisher. It looks like they're still trying to decide the way they want to use that aggression. Plenty of heroes to do that kind of aggression role.
I mean, Punisher is really, really good here for an attack, because, like, Hand of Khonshu for Moon Knight, yes, it generates incredibly quickly and can combine Strangle Prison, but it's essentially one area of effect, and then it's done, as opposed to Punisher's Final Judgment, where you got to pop that ultimate, and then you get to move forward. And we have a sort of loving terminology for the first corner when it comes to defense on Yggdrasil Path for the attacking team to have to play into it. We call it the impossible corner.
Yes.
Because you really do have to burn either an ultimate or find a huge pick-off advantage to be able to bully the defenders of holding that. And Final Judgment, being an ultimate that allows you to move forward with it still being in play, is one of those ultimates that allows you to do so.
And on the defensive side, I love the group here on this initial corner, but they're not going to be rolling with that. We got the Cap and the Max, sticking with what worked previously. And if you're, Citadel, you do have to play you know, absolutely perfect here when you have it. I love what you're saying here with the Punisher ult. I do expect Melio to get this within seconds as well, continue to do that role for the team. As we look forward to jumping right away, they're just eyes in the skies. They knew this fly cup would come as well. Punisher, another great hero to deal with that.
Citadel as well, having the Loki and the Goddess boost coming on from the Storm means that the cooldown battle is firmly in the favor of the attack team, which is why we're seeing Crazy Racoonn at the moment be very, very passive, waiting for those resources to be done, staggering their positions onto the objective, trying to slow the attackers down, building up to Rage of Ultron so that they can then play into the retake.
Yeah, the clouds are going to close now as Storm's going to find their way back to the respawn room. Vital here at 66% and climbing. Holly, though, right behind it there. Going to give the edge a little bit over to Crazy Racoonn in terms of ult economy, depending on how Holly's going to want to use the aggression. Now quickly having to rotate, and JT3 going down. Huge pick there from Melio, able to now have the entire corner, the impossible corner, ready to blow through now as they just try to chase down the rest of their prey.
That's the consequences of the Ultron nerf. If that was 4.0, Vital would have had the ultimate, Crazy Racoonn would have been able to play into the recontest, and Citadel would have to give up space or lose players. As it is, the way that Crazy Racoonn's getting in is portal play. The question is it going to be in time? Citadel have max players on the objective.
They're trying.
And oh my goodness, the stall from NX buys the opportunity. Portal comes through over the top. Vital going to be using the Rage of Ultron on the other side of it, so he's not pickable. Is still going to be able to set up the team, but they just don't have the target focus. Citadel have overwhelming amounts of damage with Enzo fully charged on the ammo.
Yeah, talk about the perfect opening. I mean, this could be up to a 3-fight first point, and that was just one clean one with a little bit of a second cleanup. I mean, absolutely committing as well. They're trying to stall. They try to get things rolling for them. I commend them for the effort for that.
It runs now into second.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge for this point.
That's the problem. It runs now into second. And I mean, we're going to see, like, J-Mac on the Captain America. It's going to be up to him to pull focus so that Vital on the Psylocke now, NX on the Winter Soldier can try and find some space to be able to do so and shut them down. The problem for them is that they'll just have so many ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the rotation here. I think this is going to favor them a bit more in what they're trying to have them play and catch up, essentially. Look at that beautiful pop. Melio trying to get some style points, trying to get that up with the grenade now. Enzo now trying to find all eyes on him. Finds two, good connection, no follow-up, but it's going to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. We have all three today. Daredevil, but plenty of judging happening. But Tanuki now finding more Melio. It's a duelist show right now here, Moxie.
Seung-Hoon tries to come in for the Luna ult. It's not going to be enough. Citadel have a full pocket on the Punisher and the Invis boundary, slowing everybody down from the side of Crazy Racoonn, and the Groot Walls interfering with them trying to get out and blocking LOS. This is still going to be a fight hit coming on through from Crazy Racoonn. They're going to get ready to just throw J-Mac onto that point with the Freedom Charge as he has to pop it just to make sure he gets onto the objective, surviving for his team.
Yeah, this is the make it or break it part of the point, because you're so close to be able to come back to the fight. So if you're able to get a wipe here, you can make that stretch out much further as Tanuki's going to be up in the sky. There's nothing to be able to answer that, though, and unfortunately, that's going to be all of Crazy Racoonn going down, trying to respond with something of it. JT3 does find Alex, though, what's going to help them. Can he get another reset? But no, it's going to be Melio on the quick finish.
The Groot Walls, Polly with the Groot Walls, just being able to isolate the Winter Soldier from his team, so even though he comes on through the Kraken impact hit, he's not going to be supported by his team long enough to live to see it through. Citadel, like you said, they go for this really big investment coming on through with both the Invis boundary on the objective, and then if Crazy Racoonn try and disengage the Invis boundary, they go directly into the Galactic Legend. There's a reason they did that, and it's because, as you said, for the second checkpoint, it's so close to the defender's door. And when Crazy Raccoons are running like Venom, Captain America, that stall potential is ginormous.
They took the two hardest points of this map and made it look absolutely easy, and at this point you're going to have a legendary, might I say, grand finals performance of a save here on defensive side. But look at now Melio just continuing to do what he's done on Frank Castle, pushing forward. They've got plenty to set up. Poland's going to be able to throw in the Entangled if they want to go that route to set up. They don't need a lot of follow-up with it, so he's just going to use it aggressively, and that's what I expected.
Yeah, the Strategist, I mean, it forces the Soul Resurgence. Regeneration Domain comes in for Citadel. They're okay with using that cooldown, because even if Ken uses the God of Mischief, cooldown's still going to be ticking all the way through. And speaking about ticking, Enzo is kicking JT3 into the wall to get the amplified damage, and that's going to be Crazy Racoonn losing so much positioning on the objective. They just have to back, and Citadel, they see the disengage, they pop the other ultimate, and they get even more.
Okay though, but NX trying to throw down a little bit and stop what they can, but yeah, the connection there, and they finish in the flush of the whale. He's using the Tritons, the Squids, the Whales, he has it all, and wow, it's right now it's just a highlight reel for NX, who just quite literally saved the team defensively.
Crazy Racoonn though, you can see the game plan, it's the same as Hall of Dajalia. Win one fight and stall all momentum with the pick potential of Hela and Namor, and use J-Mac not on the Captain America this time, on the Venom to disrupt the walk-up, but they have to pay respect to the Final Judgment coming on from Melio. If they overextend in, it's going to be Invis Boundary into slow, into Final Judgment detonation.
And they have Shunghoon here to do at least some of the answer, but they have both now. Tanuki can be patient, right? While Melio to see what he can pick out of it. And now it's going to be at the last right behind it. You got the old trackers keeping care of that now. Damage up, trying to find something from it. Melio, though, finds the best. J-Mac does get the Feast of the Abyss, though, to get the biggest threat off the field. But here comes the Legendary.
They use the Meteor against the Final Judgment at the same time as the Fate of both worlds. So Tanuki, patient all the same, comes on through the Galactic Legend. However, the elimination comes on through. The assist from both the Hela and the Namel. Undead Monster spawns one up and the Starlord is taken down. Vital's gonna have to gut us of death. Citadel don't have anything to disengage it.
The guts there to use the damage boost on the aggression there, not only with the Feast of the Abyss, but yes, with the Meteor. And what a play here from Crazy Racoonn. And there's the Goddess of Death going up. That's going to force all attention on him, throwing it back and pushing it back. It's going to be almost the connection. This finds more, and this is what you're talking about. If they get their first team fight, this allows them to completely set up 2 minutes now, but that might as well be a huge victory for the team what was looking pushed in all the way.
I mean, Citadel can just landslide, though, with the numbers. We're going to have the Undead Monster spawning, rising from the ground, but we're going to have Citadel rising from the grave, given the fact that, never mind, Melio's off at the Atom. He goes over to the Psylocke. He knows that the Hela and Namer are going to be a problem. They know that they're going to be taking a lot of poke damage on entry. What better way? Send a Psylocke in and just put the pressure on the Hela and the Namor to let the team walk.
Yeah, find the Namor right now, I think, is what they need to do. Find Inex, who's been so shifty over there with the Squids and the Tritons. Now it's going to be Kin throwing and getting this damage boost consistently, and just aggressive is the name of this team as he continues to throw down. Look at this tracking and positioning from Kin, making sure everybody gets a piece of the pie. This is what you want to see from your strategists at the top level.
And I mean, that's just aggression from Citadel. They could have gone for the copy of the Invis Boundary to slow things down, but they want to go fast with Melio already getting into the position on top of that Namor. That's why they go for the Mantis. That's why they go for the Soul Researchers. It allows them to move forward and take even more space off of the space that they started with. As we've got the Dance of the Butterflies, it's going to be up to J-Max to try and stall the objective, which sends him directly into the Carbon Crush hold, and Citadel should be able to just clean on up. There's 483. He's got to break out a wood chopper to get through those brute walls.
Master of Magnetism, but not wood, but there's a great connection on Melio. It's going to be, though, the quick follow-up there from Enzo and Kin with the Legendary to follow. Sung-Hoon, unfortunately, was in the point, unable to go up with the show. It's so hard to kind of plan that sustain and lasting without falling, and unfortunately, I would say there's no moral victories, but getting that down to 38 seconds, not bad.
Still, that's a very big distance.
It is.
Coming on through for the side of a push from Citadel. And now they go to the defensive position, which is going to be where Crazy Racoons, if they do try to go for the Hela or Namel, are going to struggle. Because unlike on the defense, where they've already got all of those lovely angles positioned at, they now have to take it by force, and I think we might actually get to see this too. Vital is going to go over to the Black Widow, and Lastra is going to go for the Mantis just to damage boost these opening shots. If they want to really get funky with it, JT3 might actually open a portal so that the Widow can get a different angle as opposed to just being able to shoot from spawn.
That would be something you would see from the Avengers, right? All the heroes using their perfect... you know, it's kind of a callback to Season 3. We got a little bit of that Black Widow early kind of spawns. We see them for just a second. But, you know, we'll see if he continues to get it outside of just that impossible corner, as you said. But when I look at what they were able to do, the 30 seconds, just so you know how much that matters, when it comes to ult charge on that last overtime fights, if they do make it the distance, 30 seconds is it. That's all they need to get their rotation, and from there it's so hard to be able to handle business.
How are Crazy Racoonn going to be able to handle Citadel's defense as Polly is on the cap, Enzo on the ammo? This Vanguard line is going to be so hard for Crazy Racoonn to be able to break. And already we can see Tanuki. He's literally just playing to make sure the Crazy Racoonn don't get a player flanking from the high ground into the backline of Citadel. He's on bouncer duty.
Home court advantage from Angela here at Asgard. Look, there's the pick! And not only just one, he gets the biggest one out of it, forcing the passive right away. That's what you want to see there, as he's going to stay on the Widow. Natasha looking for more now. Ooh, great little quick stun, and Melio again just throwing it out. No one plays Adam quite like him. Look at this damage boost. We got to keep the cam right here on the Widow. See what we can find more. He finds another. It's a beauty. Absolute lethal demon out here with the snipes, and he's got the skin to boot.
Oh my goodness, Natasha Romanov is popping off. Mama Rose Ignite stage 2. Melio gets taken down by NX. The Widow shot already forced the self-res, like you said, and Crazy Racoonn are out of the spawn dust.
And no strange in terms of Citadel. So that is going to be kind of the win con that they will be able to have to at least force this to the exact same fight on their way. There's the Daredevil.
Let the kitchen doors open. Matt Murdoch is out on the field of Yggdrasil. We're going full dive against Crazy Racoonn.
Oh, it's a thing of beauty.
And Tanuki is looking for that opening. He's getting all of the information too on where the Widow is positioned as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is what, he saw the Black Widow. He's like, you know what, let me cook too, right? I can come out here and throw out the hands of Matt Murdoch. We got Lawyer Time ready to go now and trying to charge up. Again, getting his flow state. Once Daredevil's gets going, it's so hard to shut him out. Tanuki's great guy to get on that. In X, though, gonna get the Legendary up. There's gonna be no response right now. This could be a quick wipe from CTG because there's nothing of the answer kin too far away.
There were no ultimates. Like you said, ooh, the Infamous Magic comes up. They think the Crazy Racoonn overcommitted into the slow. However, the pure from JT Free in reaction, everyone from Citadel tries to take advantage playing in the bubble of Infamous Magic, feeds them into the Ivaga motor, and Citadel, they're just not letting this go to pass. Out comes Ken's fate of both worlds. They still think that this is winnable. Crazy Racoonn, the healing from the Cosmic Amplify isn't going to be able to stand up to the dance of the butterflies.
Yeah, I love the commitment here from CTG. Might as well go all in here as Lustre does find the best of Polly, but here's a dance of the butterflies as Melio is going to be taken out and followed by Matt Murdoch and friends and Zoal. This is a great response from Crazy Racoonn, playing this near perfectly. Look at the, I mean, Scarlett Johansson's going wild somewhere, I'm telling you. What an absolute awesome opening here from Vital.
So this is the benefit of a hero like Black Widow who doesn't play in the middle of the team fight. When the fighting is just on the objective and everyone's looking at the objective, no one's looking at the Widow. And when you have the damage boost, Citadel just don't get the opportunity to go for the shield diver because they had to swap onto things like the Venom and the Captain America, who doesn't have all of that wall coverage against the Widow's pressure.
And as good as melee heroes can be against Widow, she's just as lethal in return with the quick combo, but wow, it's going to be the quick slash and reset, and this is where they can continue to snowball. This is what we want to see as the grapple hook comes out, looking for more, going to try to rotate out. That's going to be another massive pick. The openings, the Black Widow, this might be the only Black Widow play of this caliber that we're going to be continuing to see in this tournament from this team.
Tanuki's going to be letting the devil out in a matter of moments as Vital is finally held at bay, but the rocket POV brings him right back into the fray. Freedom charges on the field, it runs out now for Polly, and that's going to be Vital coming through. The Black Widow fights the main! Stop it! Vital is absolutely unstoppable right now.
Glass of water after that one. I mean, that was beautiful. I mean, I'm telling you, I've casted a lot of games now over the last 6 months. I've not gotten to see Black Widow this far into spawn. Have you? I mean, this is
I've never seen it all the way here into second.
Way
but
to
if
bring
it
it out.
isn't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. For point two, they get what they want. J-Mac with another pick on Tanuki before he can let the devil out. Right now, the devil's comfortably in
was
hell.
The solar wall vault. They used the whole last stand against the Daredevil because they knew that Tanuki would be able to put pressure onto both Lastro and Vital and break the synergy of the damage boost one-shot potential for the Widow. And now they can just keep pushing. They push into the Invis boundary to force it off of the objective, and Crazy Racoonn just flood the choke.
Yeah, they're forced to go in and throw that invisible boundary out. That's exactly where they wanted. Devil coming out, but nothing from hell to follow. And right now, we're seeing the Crazy Racoonn match exactly what we saw, and there's his job. He wants Natasha out of here. There's the key matchup. It's going to be quickly Polly getting them out of there. That's what they wanted. And this is what I talked about. This corner with the spawn so close with defense is the battle you got to win.
Vital's still up. Can Vital find the pick? He sees Tanuki on the Daredevil. He's looking for it. He loses Seung-hoon, so he loses that lifeline of the strats to be able to pog him. And oh my goodness, we're just going in. Out comes the dance of the butterflies from Melio, just trying to seal the fight. He cancels it early too, so he can start regenerating that ultimate. And finally, Citadel put a halt to the momentum, and this should be where the Widow starts falling off. However, look what JT Free's done. Swaps over to the Strange. They're just going to portal right back on through.
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, hey, listen, I think Sala had on a whiteboard over there, he had eliminate the Black Widow, right? Like that is clearly the threat right now as we take a quick breather here from this matchup that has been pure electricity. I mean, amazing job there. And like you said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't know if that was their game plan going on, but they're like, hey, why not? And I like the adjustment to Daredevil to put that pressure on Natasha, but not only that, with Black Widow, right, all the other distractions, they're starting to shut those down as well, and then they just key on to her.
I mean, it really is, you just need to win one fight, and then because you know that you're expecting a Black Widow, she's a sniper. Snipers all have this very big glaring weakness, and that they're at their most lethal when they're in position. The second that you start distorting that position and actually jumping on them in the rotation, that's when they're going to be vulnerable. However, where Black Widow is actually able to sort of thrive, she's not really a traditional sniper because she actually does have a kit which allows her to damage you in the close and personal. In fact, to all of you Black Widow mains out there, we see you, we respect you. You have
all 5 of you guys, we see all 5 of y'all out there, yeah.
But we do know that there's actually one-shot strings for the Black Widow in the close and personal, where if you're able to land the grapple into the kick, into the no-scope follow-up, it's made even easier if you have a 12% damage boost from a Mantis. You don't have to hit as many of your shots.
Yeah, and especially, it was around season 2, 2.5 when they gave Black Widow now that kind of full combo to deal with the melee side of things. And I mean, if you look at the difference, so for me, we talked about the impossible corner, we're having all of our names here, love it. The impossible corner, and then kind of that last stand of the wall, the Helm's Deep, if you will.
Yeah.
Citadel Gaming, they blew through that, and then that allowed them to continue to map point 3 so easily. When you get that first team win, it's much harder, even with the Strange Portal, to come back because it burns off all of that time, and now they're going to have almost no time in point 3.
And they're going to have no Strange Portal for overtime if they don't manage to win this next fight. Like, this is such a huge risk. Because I would expect if they don't manage to win this fight with the Strange Portal and the damage boosted Widow coming on through and trying to find an opening shot onto one of Citadel's crucial players, probably someone who's incredibly close to an ultimate or a strategist potentially, we're going to be seeing the Widow swap off. As much as I would hate to say it and hate to see it go, because this is literally the only playtime that you and I have actually got to cast Black Widow. I'm so happy to see her actually come into pro play. It's likely going to be a pivot over to something like that.
I got so many pun lines, different things to say about heroes, but my Black Widow list is pretty empty. I'm like, I don't even have to prep for it now. I'm like, all right, I caught off guard.
I find it really funny, though, that it's a Black Widow and a Mantis, because really fun random animal facts coming on through here with Moxie. The female spider of Black Widow actually eats the male. However, for the praying Mantis, the male eats the female.
The more you know. Bet you didn't know you were on Animal Planet here quickly for the brought to you by the Moxie quick tidbit. Now, looking at it, point 3, I do expect them to swap off. Widow is interesting in point number 3, but we do take it in. Let's see if the portal does come from JT3 and co as they look to line up and ready. They are going to play patient. They're going to play patient here and see what they can roll out with this next point. Minute and 20 seconds. I like this approach much better.
Yeah, I do like this approach too. You have a lot more shield coverage to be able to come on the water for your Widow. Oh my goodness, they're just going to damage boost the Widow ultimate. Lastro, however, gets hit in the fallout of that dive, and that means that Vital loses some of that pick potential and is now going to be looked upon by the Venom in the stage 2 of the dive.
Oh, but it's J-Max throwing out the wild animal. Speak about Animal Planet, we've got a Wolverine on the loose right here, right now. May not be in this meta, but he's doing just fine because he hunts his prey as he's doing so just now. This was what an answer. Oh my goodness, after the quick, I talked about how hard it is to get this back. No portal, nothing. They just had a one-man army in Logan.
They knew that Citadel would hard focus the Mantis and the Widow, and they baited their position so that the Venom was catchable with the last stand from J-Mac on the Wolverine. Crazy Racoonn now have time in the bank. They're going to be swapping Vital off of the Widow onto the Ultron so they can build up a range of Ultron, and Citadel are just going to try and shut this down immediately. They want to take away the momentum from the attack. They want to be able to stabilize and set up into a position for a dive. They have to win the fight to be able to do so. They're free to charge. It's getting space. It's not finding the elimination.
Ooh, I know, just barely here, and yes, I agree. Play your game, right? Citadel being aggressive, they got to play this, not getting any space up, and right now, forcing ult on the opposite end, but Melio finding the best from it. NX going to get something, but that was almost a panic ult, but not at all. I mean, was able to execute that to perfection. Now they get that space they were asking for.
Yeah, I mean, every single resource from Crazy Racoons to be able to survive was spent into being able to mirror the sustainability potential of Freedom Charge, so there was nothing left in the pocket when it came to the Dance of the Butterflies. And now Citadel, they've stopped the momentum. They're going to try and stagger these positions, but they have to deal with the damage boost on the Star-Lord, and so they target focus the Star-Lord. NX is there, NX is gone.
Yeah, that's a huge pick early. They do have the Galactic Legend for later, but right now the Stagger Fest is happening in front of our eyes. J-Mac does get the pick on Enzo, but that's going to be right back to the action and no problem. But there is going to be the Amplifier, so they are using up some of those resources. Berserker up, Berserker down. That's a good connection this time, but they find 2, and that's the big 2 to get.
Yeah, Polly and Melio both falling. Citadel going to be backing on up. They don't want to spend their ultimates. They know that they still have to use them to match, and so Crazy Racoonn are going to do what Citadel did with the Ever ultimate. They're going to keep putting the pressure on with the Rage of Ultron, force the Lunar ultimate, and then match it with the Soul Resurgence.
That was an absolute perfect play that they needed here with the damage boost up. I mean, Wolverines are already a thing out of Nightmares October, how fitting, but with the damage boost even more so. There's Tanuki out of the fight, continue the Agamotto for the setup. They've got to have everything land here perfectly. Look at the time too, gonna be right there.
They forced the fate of Bobots. There's no damage boost to line up with Enzo's Feast of the Abyss. The hit potential on this Venom is so low unless they can get the follow-up with Malio, but no! Enzo doesn't find the opening. Eye of Agamotto shuts it down. Tanuki, the target focus coming on through, and Crazy Racoonn are getting closer and closer to that final destination.
Yeah, great job from Kin there to try to get his team protected a little more with that forced push that we saw yet again last year. Now, heading in with the team, we're going to have the back flank there from Inex, but this is just the neutral fight. The good old Paulie, though, and Welio are going to be up and ready to answer the call, and once again, with only like 10 health left, Moxie, with the Dance execution, finds Sunghone. That's a huge one, followed by Lastro. This is going to be tough to win for Crazy Racoonn.
JT3 can still put that strange portal into play. Unfortunately, for the side of Crazy Racoonn, he's still up and standing.
Yeah.
Citadel target focus players that weren't the strange to deny the regroup and portal recontest, and off of the back of that, the overtime will burn out before Crazy Racoons can get onto the convoy, and Citadel will hold by the hair of their breath.
And that's the plays that I love to talk about. They did focus on, they knew the strange portal was available. They made sure, hey, keep them in the fight. Why not, right? And be able to get rid of everyone else. And that is just a perfect performance from Citadel. Either way, I do want to say it would have been really tough to win in that overtime with stretched out time anyway, even if they got to point 3. But Citadel's not even going to let that happen, as once again, we have our MVP, and Citadel is going to be your winner for match number 2 that we are casting.
We talked about it, right? We said it was notable how fast Citadel were able to get, and that paid off dividends. If they had been stopped at any other point of Yggdrasil path, they would have been beaten by Crazy Racoonn.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't go to show you how crazy Group B is going to be, and the upset potential of only 4 teams managing to make it through here, I don't know what will.
I'm a fan of Crazy Racoonn, I can tell you that. A region I've gotten a lot of time on. Inex, though, has lived up to what they, have been claimed to be. J-Mac, are you kidding me? This man could do it on anyone. We see the Vanguard swap to Wolverine sometimes, but this man is one to fear. Citadel could not have lost this game. 100